Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Orphanlast, aka Skylar Madison, and welcome to the 51 Animation Challenges video series. This particular little sub-series here, dealing with the flour sack animations, is me consolidating challenges 8 through 11 all into one specific challenge. Now, I've actually added more to the animation than I necessarily needed, so I've kind of gone above and beyond, done a number of things that I would consider to be extra credit. For example, all that was required was a flour sack waving, a flour sack jumping, flour sack falling, and a flour sack kicking a ball. So that's everything that I've needed to do, and I think I've done pretty well so far. What I've been focusing on primarily throughout this week has been finishing up the cleanup work for flour sack number 2. Now, I could really quickly just finish up the cleanup work for the ball. That's not going to be that difficult. And then for next week, I can definitely pay more attention towards things like coloring as much as possible. And hopefully I might be able to get that done in one video, but it all depends on just how many man hours it takes. I have no idea. This is a pretty long animation, so there might be a number of videos devoted just towards that, and that alone. Who knows? We'll have to see. One of the things that I was never really too happy about with this animation was how flour sack number 2 wound up jumping over flour sack number 1. It just didn't look right, and, I just decided, well, I kind of have a little bit of a framework going on and what not to do with the rough animation. So, as long as I do better spacing and such like that with the cleanup, then, I have nothing to lose at that point. I have everything going for me. And so, really, I decided to just completely go my own route and just kind of ignore what's going on with the rough animation at that particular point. That's the first time I've ever done that. I don't necessarily recommend people to do that. Generally, the idea behind having a rough animation is to, have a guide to go off of, not to have something that says what not to do. That's the whole point of having the rough animation. It's not to tell you what not to do. But in this case, I just thought that I could get away with it. I do have a little bit of practice, not a whole lot, but I've had enough practice to where I felt like, okay, so the spacing needs to be kind of close towards the beginning and a little bit spaced apart towards the end in order for it to be convincing. Now, I did try a number of things with the function editor and trying to get the spacing right inside of the function editor, whether or not you're using the graph or whether or not you're just trying to deal with right-clicking and dealing with like speed in, speed out information and such like that. It just seemed like everything I did gave me some totally unpredictable result, all the way to the point where it looked nothing like how it should. I mean, I'd get the rotation, I'd get the positioning of everything just right, and, it looked just fine. But then once I wound up changing the spacing interpolation, all of a sudden it's all bouncing all over the place. The flour sack was nowhere close to where I had placed it, and it just looked awful. And so I had to kind of experiment a few times until I completely gave up on using the function editor entirely for this particular animation. I decided, okay, well, I'm just going to wind up just going frame by frame, copying and pasting the same image throughout the entire jump and just working with that. So it's not a horrible thing to happen. It's just something that wound up causing more work for me that really didn't pan out. And this is some of the reason why I'm thinking about kind of branching out a little bit and using some other software for a little while, because I feel like there's something great with the function editor, but I need some sort of point of reference. I need to see how other software has done it so that I can actually say, okay, I love this portion of the function editor, but this other portion of the function editor should work more like this other program or something like that, at least according to my opinion, or maybe according to a bounty or a crowdsourcing sort of situation that I might have going on in the future or something. I don't know. We'll have to see how everything pans out. But really, I just feel like if the function editor is something that is consistent within multiple different types of animation software, then something needs to be done about it so that it winds up being a little bit more user-friendly. It just seems ridiculous how you could get everything looking almost the way you want it, and then you just kind of play around with a few settings, and then suddenly what you animated just is bouncing all over the screen unpredictably. That's just wonky and weird. Now, as a little bit of a change of topic, something that I actually discussed a little bit last week and the week before that, as far as my truck goes, I actually had to replace the clutch. Fortunately, the entire transmission didn't need to be replaced. Now, the only reason why I mention this is because, I have little aspirations and goals for my YouTube channel, and, if I could afford to purchase a really nice computer, then that'd be great, but, there's things that are standing in the way, and even though I wound up spending about $600, $630 something on my truck just recently, just to get the clutch replaced. That doesn't necessarily mean that the truck is 100% fixed. It's been giving me problems ever since I first purchased it. These problems didn't manifest themselves during the test drive, but within the course of the first week, all of the problems occurred. Like, within the first week, the driver's side door won't open from the outside of the vehicle, which is really frustrating, having to open the driver's side door from the passenger side. And then there's the issue where the speedometer stopped working, and that's an expensive fix, but what comes first, fixing that or the issue where if I start driving the vehicle for anywhere close to 30 minutes, then the vehicle won't turn on unless it sits for a number of hours. Now, it sounds like the engine is overheating when I describe it that way, but for some reason, no, it's not overheating. I don't even know what the issue is there. And it's really frustrating because it's like, well, the engine is paramount, most important, but you need to know what speed you're going on the road, and any engine repair is expensive, and then for some reason a speedometer is extremely expensive. Something that tells you how fast you're going is extremely expensive. Something needs to be done about that to make it more cost effective. It's amazing how car repair can just compound to the point to where it just becomes absolutely unaffordable. You have anything more than one car repair issue, and suddenly you're looking at thousands of dollars possibly. And these are the sorts of things that are currently preventing me from getting a new computer and such. As for my shoulder and such, I went to my last session of physical therapy. Now, I might need to go to one more session of physical therapy, but they haven't scheduled it. They basically said that, hypothetically speaking, I may very well want to come in and ask a few questions and have one more physical therapy session. So they're not officially discharging me, but even still, the thing is, I actually appreciate this approach to physical therapy, because if I wind up getting onto full duty, lifting things at normal weight and everything like that, and I wind up, tweaking my shoulder or something just a little bit and needing to get just one more session of physical therapy, then, it's nice having that on the table and having that as an option. The bit that I've been finding frustrating, I've finally started to feel good enough to actually be able to show up for work within the last week and a half. And here I am trying to show up for work, and it's just really frustrating because I have all of these meetings, like doctor's appointments and physical therapy, and you show up at a hospital or at physical therapy, they don't want you looking disgusting, so you have to drive all the way home. You need to, make yourself presentable, show up at the hospital so that you don't make people sicker or anything like that. Same thing with physical therapy. You don't want to damage their machines because you're a construction worker and you might get some little metal fragments or dust into their machines, things like that. And then there's the issue of, I've been driving my truck and then it won't start. And if it does start, cool, I'll be able to make it to the physical therapy appointment or the doctor's appointment. Oh, but I won't be able to get the truck started again, so I'll have to be stranded there for an hour or two, maybe 3, until I can finally get the truck started again. These are the sorts of things that really frustrate me, and it makes it so that it's really difficult to make money right now, even though I'm starting to feel a little bit better and well enough to basically go to work. So you basically take all this, issues with my truck and issues with my shoulder and all the many different appointments and everything that goes along with all of that. These are the sorts of things that are kind of keeping me from purchasing a new computer and kind of taking my channel to the next step, I feel. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to being able to do, and yet I feel stifled towards that effort. But just be patient, and I'll go ahead and keep you guys posted on the progress as far as that goes and all that good stuff. If you guys are even interested in, I guess, my personal life, I don't know if you guys are not. I don't know if you guys just want to see pretty pictures and pretty little animations and how I make them, or just the progress in which I happen to make them. I don't know. I don't know why you guys watch my videos. If you, I mean, I can put up the things that I can think that you guys are interested in, and wind up seeing less minutes watched and be completely confused and such like that, or audience retention just seems to be completely random to me, it seems like. So I'm kind of confused what you guys like to see. So if you guys, I don't know, just go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know why you watch my videos. That'd be great. Anyways, that pretty much concludes it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you didn't like it, please like, share, and subscribe anyways. Now, there are some people that are reporting that there are some issues where my videos aren't showing up on their subscription feed, so feel free to click on the bell as well. If you'd like to take a look at any of my other videos, feel free to click on any of them that are appearing on the screen right now. Thank you very much for your time.